Welcome, I'm Avatar Slang. I'm your ultimate go-to for fiction, fandom, and nerd culture, where they collide politics, society, and everything in between. Before we dive in, podcast on Spotify, your favorite platform, so you never miss an episode. You watch on YouTube, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Sharing, reviewing, and spreading the word helps the podcast grow. For more nerdy content like this, follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Avatar Slang. That's avatar.slang.
This is the spoiler alert. You've been warned.
Alright, y'all. So, I'm going to update y'all on how I'm running things from now on. First, I'm going to stream whenever I'm free. When I mean streaming, I'm talking about on like Twitch and YouTube. So I'm probably going to play some games. Who's calling me? I need to turn this on Do Not Disturb. That's annoying. I get so much notifications. But who am I mad at? That's my fault. But yeah, I'm going to be on Twitch and YouTube. That's Avatar. I mean, if you type in Avatar Slang, I should pop up. But I think my username on Twitch is Avatar_Slang. Yeah, so I'm probably going to be playing. Usually Fortnite is multiplayer and whatever's on Game Pass. The other day I was messing with House Flipper. Like I don't really have a desire to be a landlord, but to be a video game one's pretty fun. It's pretty laid back. You just do quick tasks, you make the money, you get houses, you build them up. Like that's kind of like Sims in a way, but it's first person. I think it's pretty fun. I also probably want to do some Ninja Turtles, whatever I feel like playing. Nothing. I got a lot to do, so trying to beat difficult games or games that don't hold my attention, it's probably not worth my time. So if I'm going to make gaming content, it's going to be easier, laid back stuff. So you want that uncut Avatar Slang energy, catch me on YouTube and Twitch. I'm dropping solo episodes of the Avatar Slang Show. Yeah, I call it the Avatar Slang Show now because it's not just a podcast, and I think this is more universal. Obviously, a podcast could be on YouTube, but I'm going to call it the Avatar Slang Show for that one. But yeah, I'm dropping solo episodes whenever I got something big to say. So if it's a longer video, it'll be on YouTube, Twitch, maybe Twitch. I'm not sure yet. The live episodes will be on Twitch. The live episodes will be on YouTube. Sometimes Facebook if I'm trying to reach a certain audience, but it's always going to be on YouTube and Twitch. If everything works out right, I could stream it live on TikTok and Instagram too. But that's going to be maybe another week or so before that's all the way up. So yeah, as far as something big to say, that would be, when I say big, it doesn't have to be the biggest deal in the world, but if it's a longer thing that's not just a 90-second to 2-minute TikTok, it's going to be on YouTube. If I have multiple topics, it's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Spotify. Spotify has video episodes now, so check that out. Whenever I upload a YouTube episode, it'll most likely be uploaded as a podcast episode. So on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can find podcasts at, my YouTube episodes for the most part will be on there. Especially the solo and the guest ones. Speaking of guests, getting guests has been a little tougher lately. Because obviously the people I work with, a lot of them are middle class people like me. So they don't always have time. Like I appreciate whatever time they're able to give me. It's not an obligation. So I don't want to inconvenience anybody. But at the same time, I have an obligation to give y'all updates. So I'm going to post solo episodes and I'm going to try to do that twice a week. Actually, I'm saying that wrong. I'm going to have a YouTube/podcast every week with whether it's me or a guest, but weekly we're going to try to have my Fortnite squad, and we're doing a thing called Movie Mondays. So it's me and my gaming crew where we break down a movie every week. This upcoming Monday, we're going to be breaking down Black Panther. So I advise you to watch the movies before listening, or if you just want to listen, do that too. But I try not to have spoilers. So on Monday, we're doing Black Panther. So that's 2 podcasts / YouTube videos a week. One with me and my gaming crew, and one with either just me or me and a guest. And I do have an upcoming guest, a very special guest coming up in October. She's very busy because the work she's in, is very. She's in the middle of a job now that's very beloved. It has something to do with a beloved female character. So I'll keep dropping hints during the week. I mean, up to when. Well, I can't speak today. From now to October, I'll keep dropping hints and I'll give you updates on the date as we get closer. Third thing, I'm doing more TikToks, Reels, and YouTube Shorts. I need to get back on YouTube Shorts. I honestly need to get back to the short form content. I've been very busy with work and school, so that's been a thing. And then keeping up with this crazy house, like just me and my wife in this 3-bedroom house, which isn't the biggest, but when you're used to just an apartment, now you have all these rooms and space in a yard. It becomes a lot. I need to get some cleaners. She's against that, but we're getting cleaners. But yeah, I want to get back to doing YouTube Reels and TikTok Shorts. And those will be quick takes on trending Marvel, sci-fi, TV, movie, pop culture topics. Not that much pop culture, but I mean, I guess it's all pop culture, but sometimes I might veer off the normal blurred nerd takes. So to sum that up, it's going to be live stream for the Hangouts, podcast slash YouTube episodes for the longer, deeper talks and breakdowns, and short videos when I just want to talk about one quick topic with you. So this is my first solo episode, so obviously I'll get better with time, but with things like this, you gotta just do it and hope for the best. I'm saying that like I'm trying to disarm a bomb, but no, I'm going to talk about a couple different pop culture, nerd culture, political, whatever, things that are relevant to today. And it's going to be still based in my nerdom, my fandom, but just a certain things that I wanted to talk about. And I could chop these up for TikTok later, but I just had to get it all out. So there's a thing where people are online still arguing about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And honestly, I hate being this guy, the both sides are annoying guys, but it's the truth. Now, I know plenty of people who like Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark or dislike them, but they have level takes. Me personally, I'm fine with both of them. I know Caitlin Clark is a better player than Angel Reese, and I know some people like Angel Reese out of the overhype of Caitlin Clark. And if it's just for healthy fandom, cool. But some people are showing their racism and sexism over it, and it's like it's kind of silly at this point. So that's the most time I'm gonna give that. Before I move on, there was a stretch where Caitlin Clark was shooting 17% from the field for like about 6 games or so, but somehow Angel Reese was getting all the slander. And don't get me wrong, the rookie year, her Angel Reese's rookie year, she could have been better, but she was a rookie. So to say she sucks now based off her rookie year, that's pretty strange to me. Just say you have a problem with her. And then I see people in the comments who come down on her, like you're like 50 saying that she's she's too much. I'm like, no, she's a regular athlete. Like she's actually not that wild. Like there's athletes who are way quote unquote worse than her, and yet y'all have all the animosity for her. But you know what? No, some of these people just hate black athletes. So now being a black woman probably makes it worse. And I'm not saying she's a perfect player, but the way y'all speak on her is a little weird. It feels a little coded. So that's what I'm gonna say about that. Now, the I see a lot of people making jokes about WNBA players wanting to make more money. Honestly, I'm for that. I usually don't care what people get as far as like celebrities and the upper class, but from what I remember, they don't make that much money as as far as athletes go. It's not okay. I guess when I mean that much money, they're not millionaires off the WNBA. Let me actually look up the average WNBA salary before I get into that. That wasn't on the agenda. That's why I didn't have this information pulled up already. But I'm looking at they make 100,000, which is that's on average, which is cool. But a lot of y'all want to point out that as a revenue based thing. Cool. The WNBA is making more money than it used to. And for the people who say, oh, well, never turn to profit, that in big business, it's not how it works. So companies like Spotify and big tech companies, they don't turn a profit, but yet you would never say things like, oh, artists should make more money or the workers should make more money, because when you have a company that big and you make money, you reinvest it. So technically, you're not turning a profit when you look at the spreadsheets, but it has made money. So if they're pulling in the revenue, them asking for more money isn't the craziest thing. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I want to get into more of the stuff I'm into. Oh, my dog's barking. It's annoying. Why? I'm like, I don't even know I'm trying to record. Like, he don't realize that if I make money off this podcast, he gets more treats. But anyway, James Gunn and Kevin Feige come up a lot in nerd circles when talking about superhero fatigue. They addressed it, and they also addressed box office fatigue. I don't want to get into all the quotes, but I would say that actually I will get into the quotes. Hold on. All right, so I'll pull it up. So Kevin Feige said something along the lines of, um, first of all, he praised Superman's James Gunn's Superman, saying there's proof that there's no superhero fatigue. It blames Thunderbolt's failures on its characters coming from Disney Plus TV shows. One, that's not true. Most of the characters from Thunderbolts are actually from the movies. I don't like when rich people, or people for that matter, talk to you like you're stupid. Like, hold on, the dog just walked in. I gotta close the door real quick. I don't like when they talk to us like we're stupid. Like, especially Marvel fans. Like, Marvel fans really know their stuff. It's so much easier to be a smart Marvel fan these days because of the resources we have. But anyway, James Gunn said something along the lines of box office numbers is because the movies have to be good. People aren't sick of going to the movies, or it has nothing to do with the TV screens at home. Because a lot of people believe that home theaters and streaming is the reason why no one wants to go to the movies as much. And he's like, no, just gotta be good. When he first said that, I was like, yeah, I could see that. But as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, no, a lot of good movies don't make its money. It's not always about it being good. Obviously, I would prefer them put effort into their movies and have them be good. But art is not always reflective of capitalism. Like, it's not always reflective of capital. So you can be good at something and not make the money. You might have, you might not have the reach. So, for instance, if I if I'm the son of someone from the Hilton family, I have way more reach because I have more resources, I have more fame. So that right there, people are more likely to check out what I make as far as content or something. If you notice, actors that aren't child actors, what am I talking about? Most actors, especially white actors, I'm not making it a race thing. I'm just look it up. A lot of actors, they are related to someone who's already in the industry. So it's a lot easier to get into content and creating stuff if you're already in that industry. Why was I saying that? Oh, so I'm basically saying that to say that sometimes I go on these tangents and these rants. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I say that to say that. I say that to say, what am I talking about here? Oh, that movies aren't always going to make the money. That's up to marketing, and at the end of the day, audiences have a choice. Like for me personally, I know there's a lot of critically good movies that just don't hold my interest. Like Wicked, I've seen pieces of it because my wife is big on Wicked. I just don't like musicals, but I look at it like that looks like great quality. I just don't have the. I just don't want to watch a musical. I don't. It's not my thing. There's like I know the difference between a good scary movie and a bad scary movie. I just don't like horror films that much. So that's just that. And honestly, I don't really care about box office numbers. Like I don't want to sit here and say like when a movie comes out, I don't want to talk about the box office numbers. I want to talk about how the movie made me feel, how good the movie was, the themes, the writing, the acting, the performances. I want to celebrate the art. I don't really want to analyze why it made money or didn't make money. Because at the end of the day, those are just guesses. I could say, oh, like for instance, if a woman-led movie, I could say, oh, the sexist people didn't want to show up for it. But I don't really want to decipher all that. I don't really care. It's not my job. Now, selfishly, I would love for these movies to make money so I get more of them, but I truly don't care when it comes down to it. I'm going to pivot a little bit to politics. Yeah, politics, the scary P word. So I live in Philly. I live in PA. So I'm born in West Philly. I was going to Bonner, which is in Delaware County, right outside West Philly. A lot of kids from West Philly went there. So when I moved to Abington with my mom and family, 10 minutes on the other side of Philly. So when we first moved there, I don't remember how this happened because I was a teenager. I didn't really keep track of these things. But Josh Shapiro was the rep at the time. He actually came to the house to welcome us to the neighborhood. Meant nothing to me at the time. It meant nothing to me. Like, so the current governor at the time, back in 2006, greeted us. Don't remember what they talked about. Didn't care. I just saw white guy with glasses talking to my mom. Whatever. He's actually a very nice, pleasant guy in person. I mean, obviously, I guess it's a. Why do I have an alarm going on? Josh Shapiro, nice guy, probably well-meaning, but I do think I do have an issue with him. He retains the status quo. Like I'm not gonna say he's never done anything productive for people in Pennsylvania, because everything's on a spectrum. I don't just do good, bad. Now, obviously, you could fit into those things, but a bad person can do a good thing. A good person can do a bad thing. I'm not even saying he's a bad person, but I do think American politics at its core, especially right now, doesn't have the interests of its people at heart. Even if some politicians think they have the interests of people, the fundamental rules and culture is not people first. Like we're pretty imperialistic. Like we make things okay. Like we've made war okay. Like for the past 15 years, I'm only 34, so I've noticed. So for the past 15 years, we made bullets okay. Like I'm from Liberia, and obviously people be like, "Well, y'all they fight in Africa a lot," but on a regular peaceful day, guns are not normalized like the way they are here. We're very okay with that. Places like the American suburbs have higher crime rates than other countries, and we consider the suburbs to be very soft because we're just so used to the violence. So I say that to say we're okay with war. We celebrate it. It's so baked into our culture that it became okay. We've been supporting Israel bombing people for so long, all because the billionaires and the politicians have interests overseas. They want to control the Middle East. So they're using Israel to be the eyes of the Middle East. Whatever. I wasn't trying to go that deep, but we're here now. So my issue with that is they have universal health care in Israel. Whereas in America, we say that's not American. That's not they call it fascism, they call it communism. Those are all just buzzwords. I hate that. Because socialism isn't bad when you send your kid to public school. Socialism isn't bad when you call 911 when you need help, when you call the firefighters. Like, there's a reason we like firefighters more than we like our insurance companies. Our insurance companies, that's capitalism. Like, when your house burns down and you call the insurance company, that's capitalism. And they charge you for something you're paying for every month. They charge you after paying every month. Whereas you just call the firefighters, you say my house is on fire. They come and put out the fire, or they come and solve any emergency, and that comes out of your tax dollars. There's a lot of things that could be that way. So you'll call me a socialist, a communist. I don't care for buzzwords. It just is what it is. I think capitalism as constructed is not working for the average person in America. Now you can say, well, it's still the best way. You know you got social services and still have people retain their financial freedoms. Having universal health care is not slavery. I've heard people say, oh, you know what? If you have universal health care, then they tell you which hospitals to go to. They'll tell you who your doctor should be. Let me tell you something. Insurance is already telling you which hospitals you can go to. Like if I go to, let's say I fly to Chicago for the weekend and, you know, I sprain my ankle, I have to go to the emergency room there. It's already enough that the emergency room in my network in Philly is a lot. And mind you, you're not even you don't have access to the full network in Philly. Only in a certain hospital network. So for me, it's only a couple hospitals and branches of the hospital here. If I do that in Detroit, I'm gonna go bankrupt. That's freedom? Yeah, that's stupid. So yeah, back to Josh Shapiro. He retains the status quo. Like he's doing all this stuff where he's investing in AI and tech plants, which are known to be bad for the citizens around there. It messes up their water. They have no water pressure. And you could say, oh, they could just move. Well, that's insensitive. How can someone making $40,000 who bought their house 30 years ago just move? So you want them to just move and pay 5 times their mortgage? No, that's not fair. Like, y'all, not only do politicians put rich people first, but the average citizen, they're like, well, it's not fair to tax billionaires. Or, oh, they're savvy. How are they savvy? They're not savvy. They're protected. When will the middle class be protected? When will poor people be protected? Billionaires don't need protection. They can afford anything already. Why do they need more protections? Like, that's a scam. Like, it's no coincidence that RoboCop happens during the Reagan era because you could pinpoint the Reagan era is when a lot of these things were mad about now. That's when that's when that was enforced. So I brought up RoboCop because RoboCop happens in a city where corporations run everything, and that was in the 80s. Private, I can't speak. Privatization. Why is that word so hard for me today? Tech giants, $1 billion contracts. They don't care about you. They just care about control. So you also worry about communism and socialism controlling things. Y'all don't think Amazon and Donald Trump, Joe Biden, you don't think they're controlling everything you do? Like, come on. Like, in the 80s, school was affordable. Like, you could work a job and pay your tuition, pay half your tuition, put a good payment down. I can't work and pay my own tuition now. That's stupid. Like, I thank God that I won't have much student debt when I'm done. But yeah, Shapiro, he's technically a nice guy, but when you're investing huge amounts of AI firms while the working class is struggling, that's like letting OCP, that's the private company in RoboCop. That's the same thing as letting them run the streets. Like RoboCop's not just an action movie; it's a commentary on society, and that's why when people say Marvel's too woke now, I'm like, everything is woke. Art reflects life. Art reflects, even if it's not trying to, it reflects society in that moment in some way or form. But yeah, you know who doesn't retain the status quo? Miss Rachel. She speaks up for the kids in Gaza. Hold on. Okay, so I'll be honest. I know I saw what Miss Rachel, but I don't remember the last thing I said because I had to pull up the notes I had on her because I don't like misquoting people. But yeah, basically Miss Rachel, she's been speaking up on the Gaza thing, and she started in May 2024, I believe, and in just hours she raised $50,000. She sparked backlash from followers accusing her of bias. Okay, like how's that bias? Like she's speaking up for children who are getting bombed. Like not that adults deserve to get bombed, but you can kind of rationalize that. What do kids deserve to get bombed on? Like I know war is part of the human condition. Like we don't like somebody, we kill the adults in another place. I don't agree with that, but that's been happening in civilization for centuries. So I get how that's normalized. Why in the civilized society are we still indiscriminately bombing children? Again, you shouldn't be indiscriminately bombing the Gaza Strip anyway. But it's just so strange to me that it just has no bounds. Oh, the Spider-Man costume is killing me. Can't like see if for the video users I had to take the glove off because the mouse pad on the MacBook doesn't sense my hand. But yeah, back to Miss Rachel. She did share recently how standing up for Gaza has been more positive, and I'm with that. Like it's being more normalized to speak up on the Gaza Strip getting bombed, Palestine being bombed. It's bad overall. Yeah, so the thing with the internet is you will be attacked for any position. Hold on, my wife just texted me saying she needs the iron. She could come get it. Hold on, I'm gonna pause real quick. But yeah, I was basically saying before Carmen texted me, um, yeah, you'll be attacked on the internet for having any opinion. So why not have the right one or the humane one? Like, if you want to be would you like? I'd rather be attacked for doing the right thing than the wrong thing. Like losing jobs, and I get it. Some people's jobs are at risk, but times have changed. If you have a platform, especially since we always say America is liberal, which is it's not, but whatever. It's not as common for you to lose a job for speaking up. And if you're privileged, you're already privileged. What do you have to lose? Like, if you're already worth $100 million, you're scared of losing money. Like $100 million makes you generationally rich. I mean, not everyone's worth $100 million, so I get it. But it's a lot easier to speak up than it is back then. And I want to put it out there. A lot of Jewish people I know don't condone Israel's actions. Like, it's weird to me. Israel's the only country that when you criticize it, people are like, oh, you're anti Semitic. If I criticize something Liberia does, doesn't mean I hate Africans. If Liberia is bombing Ghana, I'm like, you know what? Liberia doesn't need to bomb Ghana. So, for instance, Russia was bombing Ukraine. No one said you're anti Russian. So, why would we, why do we hate Russia but like Israel? Doesn't make sense. If you're bombing people, and you know what? It's what do you call what's the term millennials use? Gaslighting. You're bombing people. You're occupying their land. You're not even just bombing them. You're occupying the land, and you're telling them what permits they need, or like you're basically controlling their territory. And then you're saying, well, if you oppose that, you hate Jewish people. Get the hell out of here! Like, are you kidding me? No, you don't get to do that. But yeah, shout out to Miss Rachel and shout out to all the people who use their platform for the right thing. It's not always the easiest thing to do, so I do commend it, but I wish more people would do it because if everybody does it, we can't lose. Like, we need solidarity with these kinds of things. All right, what I got next for y'all? Oh, I want to talk about with the wrap of the Gaza thing. A lot of black people say, "Oh, that doesn't concern me," and I get it. Like being involved in things, it does take time. It can take money. It takes away from the money you could be making. I get it. We're going through inflation. Everyone has their own struggles, so I try not to guilt people. So it does take effort, but if you don't have the time to put into it, cool. But don't rationalize it by saying it has nothing to do with me. Yes, it does. First of all, every person who's suffering has to do with us. Malcolm X spoke on Gaza because he's anti-colonial, just like most black activists. When you dismantle colonialism in any way, it impacts us. It's like with any habit, if you normalize it, it works out for everybody else. It's like if I'm doing something wrong. It's like if a man is abusive, he's not just like, oh, I'm going to abuse woman A. He's likely going to abuse woman B. You got to cut that out. That's a terrible analogy, but I'll fix it up. So basically, if colonialism exists for the Palestinians, why wouldn't it exist for anybody else? Like, we can't be okay with this. You gotta nip it in the bud. You just gotta stop it. You gotta stop it. Like, if they could colonize Gaza like that, why can't they colonize Jamaica or Liberia or Nigeria? Why are we accepting of that? We gotta not be accepting that. We can't accept it. And I don't want to hear both sides were tripping. Hamas is in Palestine, but Israel is the army of Israel's openly killing Palestinians. Palestine, who doesn't have the resources Israel has, they're not killing Israelis. It's you're lying to yourself. And if you're trying to make it a two-sides thing, you're rooted in whiteness. I'm not saying there's something wrong with white people. When I say whiteness, I'm saying the idea that you're letting white supremacy win. Every time you back Israel in that way, that's white supremacy. And I'm friends with Israeli people. I'm friends with Jewish people. I'm from West Philly. I'm from Overbrook. So it was pretty Jewish over there. I just did the I have a black friend thing. Wow. Life comes at you full circle. But no, so I'm saying just because I disagree with a government doesn't mean I don't like the people. It's like America does things. The government does things I don't like. I hope people overseas realize that there's a lot of good people here. So it's just these billionaires and the government and people in power. They're the ones who suck. If you go to other places or you talk to people from other places, they're just like you. They just want to enjoy their lives, hang out with family. Yeah, that's just all that is. But yeah, I actually didn't mean to go this long on the social stuff. I mean, I threw y'all some RoboCop in there. So let's get into the fun stuff. So here's something I want to talk about. I'm watching this show. My sister and my wife are really into it. It's called The Gilded Age. I love HBO stuff. Like, I don't talk about it enough, but I love prestige TV. Like HBO, Showtime, the dramas. I guess it's from what we would call back then the premium channels, the ones you had to pay extra for back in the day, like HBO, Showtime, Max. I love HBO stuff like Sopranos, The Wire, Game of Thrones. Well, Game of Thrones, I got something on that later. But I love prestige TV. But I was talking to my sister about Gilded Age, and so far they've made a season every year. Obviously, they only do 8 to 10 episodes a season, so that's part of it, maybe. But some of these shows, nah, you know what? No, because some of these shows will do 8 to 10 episodes a season and have you wait 2, 3 years between seasons. I'm not good with that. Like Netflix comedies, when they give you 8, 10 episodes, 30 minutes, and no, like let's go back to the whole 18 to 22 episode seasons like Abbott does. Like y'all can handle that, right? Like Netflix came through and changed the way everyone operated. And I get it because network TV is actually quite bad now. But Netflix sometimes has network TV level stuff. But yeah, I really appreciate shows like The Gilded Age, The Bear. What else comes out yearly? The Boys was coming out yearly before they took the break for this final season because the special effects are probably a lot. But yeah, The Gilded Age, The Bear, even Invincible's joined that now. Now they make a season every year and it retains great quality. Okay. Like shows like House of the Dragon. Is that what it's called? The show, the Game of Thrones spinoff, which is actually a prequel. I guess it's not a spinoff, it's a prequel. But that show comes out every 2 years and I get it, the Dragon CGI. But I just want good shows to come out yearly. But then it's like I'm complaining because it's like we want these shows to be good. So it's like I guess I'm just a fan trying to have it both ways. Speaking of House of the Dragon, how is such a hyped up show so good? Like it's like it has good acting, good dialogue, but that show is boring. Like nothing happens in that show. It feels like nothing happens. Like I feel like nothing happened in season two. They made us wait 2 seasons, and it doesn't feel like the plot moved. Depending on what shows are out or what I'm doing when it comes back out, I'm probably out on that show. Like, it's not a bad show. It's just the pacing stinks. And to be honest, I feel like I know what's going to happen. I think it already happened in the books. They're probably all going to die. That's what they get into on those Game of Thrones shows. Speaking of boring and good at the same time, let's talk about Fantastic Four. No, I'm lying. Fantastic Four is not boring to me. But I've heard some people say that. And I do get that criticism. I do think it's a well-made movie. It was good. The action scenes were good, but Marvel MCU fans, we've been spoiled with the choreography in these movies. So I think maybe, if possible, they could have fit in another scene where the Fantastic Four fought I'm stealing this term from Van Lathan off of the Ringerverse podcast, an appetizer villain, someone who isn't the biggest deal, Like, not, I guess he's not a final boss, but we get to see what the Fantastic Four can do. So maybe they fought like Mole Man in a flashback. That would have been dope. But I thought Fantastic Four was good. Like, I do my movie tiers by fire, which is like, it's a fire movie. Good, mid, and trash. Good is a good movie, not, amazing, but it was good. Like, and then there's mid movies, it was alright. And trash movies mean terrible. To me, Fantastic Four, that was a good movie. Could be a fire movie. I gotta think on that more. But for me right now, it's good. I would rewatch that. I would rewatch Fantastic Four. Like back in the day when you had movies on FX, when you're scrolling on traditional cable, I would have left Fantastic Four on and watched it most times. Whereas some movies I would skip past. Like if I see Aquaman on FX, I might be skipping that. It's not even a terrible movie. It's just I don't feel the need to rewatch it that much. Movie wise, this has been a really good year for me. I gotta admit, I haven't been up to date on my movie reviews, but Superman a month later, still awesome movie. Superman reminds me of the DCAU Superman, so the one from the cartoons on Cartoon Network and Kids WB in the '90s, the one that crossed over the Batman the Animated Series and Justice League and Static. That's the DCAU. He reminds me of that Superman. Very pleasant fellow, but he's normal. So like when he's mad when you expect him to be mad, like when Lex Luthor took Crypto, it felt like if you're in that room, you're like, oh, Superman might really break this guy's neck. Now we know because with the audience, we know Superman has a heart of gold. But I liked that they got the angry side right without making him seem unreasonably mean. Because I mean, Crypto's a good boy. Like if someone took my dog, I'd be pissed. So yeah, Superman, that's a fire movie. I will rewatch that every time I see it on. Once that hits HBO Max, I'm going to watch it again. WB secretly having a really good movie because they also got Sinners. Sinners is a classic movie, instant classic. That's kind of an oxymoron, but because classic is something that stands the test of time. But in hip hop, we call things a classic album, and we know what, like, if you're into hip hop, you know what that means. So I'm going to use that label for movies. Sinners is an instant classic. That's a fire movie. Thunderbolts, fire movie. Thunderbolts is a fire movie too. I would get Superman, Sinners, and Thunderbolts definitely getting on Blu-ray. I'm getting on Blu-ray. I don't even have a Blu-ray collection yet. I got a couple Blu-rays like in my gaming bin, but I'm starting to be a believer in physical media, so I'm getting those on Blu-ray soon. But yeah, fire, good, mid, and trash. That's how I'll be rating my movies from now on. Cause on Facebook I used to be known as the trash guy. Like I used to tell people I didn't like a lot, and I kind of flipped once I started getting into podcasting because I wanted to talk about things I did like. So that's why you don't see me talk about things I don't like. Not because people got to me, but because that's kind of boring. I think the only thing I talked about that I didn't like was Madam Web because I was very interested to see what the Spider-Man connections would be, what they thought they were doing. Whereas with Craven and Venom, I get the gist of those characters. I didn't need to see them on the big screen. I really was interested to see what Madam Web's explanation would be. Movie was trash. All right, I'm going to do some Q&A for the last 15 to 20 minutes. I don't even know why I'm putting a timer on myself. But yeah, the last segment will be now it's time for some Q&A. I'm going to do that every time. I literally thought of it on the spot. I did not plan that out, but I'm going to do that every time now. I'm just going to share my screen real quick. Never did it this way before, so let's see how this works out. So I got most of these questions from Instagram. Which childhood cartoons did? Why am I reading like I don't teach kids how to read? Which childhood cartoons did age well for you, and which cartoons are still great to watch? Cartoons that age well. Okay, so I'm gonna do a speed list: SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Justice League Unlimited, Static Shock, Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Legend of Korra, Tom and Jerry's, easy to watch. I said Avatar because a lot of lessons in that. It's great. It's very universal. Great for kids. It's lighthearted and serious at the same time. Very balanced. SpongeBob because It's good for like adults can get the jokes, kids can get the jokes. Kids don't even need to get the jokes; they just like the hijinks. The writing is very clever, even on the new seasons. Now I don't keep up with it as much, but when it's on, I do leave it on, like when I'm doing homework and stuff. But I don't go out my way to watch it the way I used to. But Fairly Odd Parents in the same category. There's a lot of current cartoons that I like, but that wasn't the question. So my childhood cartoons, Justice League Unlimited, I suggest that for anybody. Like if you need anything, like if you're one of those, I'm fed with the MCU, or you watch everything the MCU has to offer, you watch everything the DCU has to offer, watch Justice League Unlimited. That's worth it. Watch the first season, the second half of the first season with the Project Cadmus arc with Amanda Waller, who's portrayed by Viola Davis in the movies. Her character first in the mainstream appeared on Justice League Unlimited. Watch that. Like, then you'll see why David Cornsweet, the current Superman, nailed it. He's a lot like the DCAU Superman, who for a lot of millennials these movies are made for millennials. It caters, not made for them, it's catered to millennials. That's their definitive Superman. So watch Justice League Unlimited. Overrated cartoons, comics, anime. Ooh, that's hard. It's funny because a lot of people know me to be a negative fan of these things. Like I used to talk about what's trash a lot, but as far as anime and comics, I like most of what I read. So I'm reading Avengers right now. I'm reading the Absolute Universe right now. Absolute DC Universe. Anime. I used to be the DVDs overrated camp, but I don't like putting it that way because I use overrated the literal way, but words mean what people want them to mean sometimes. Like the way society decides to use that word is what it actually the meaning shifts to that. So if I say DBZ is overrated, I'm kind of putting down the accomplishments that show has made. So I used to say DBZ because DBZ fans use DBZ to shoot down anything else. They use DBZ logic to dislike other things. So that used to annoy me. So that's hard because I don't find DBZ to be bad at all. So overrated cartoons, I would say this is one. Blue Eye Samurai on Netflix. It's good. It's very well done, but some of it kind of pisses me off. And I guess it's just that the recognition it gets doesn't match the recognition other better shows get. Like Castlevania on Netflix, gas, much better than Blue Eye Samurai. But Blue Eye Samurai is the one, I think it won some awards over X-Men 97, which I thought X-Men 97 was just much better, a much funner show than Blue Eye Samurai. And the thing that bothered me about Blue Eye Samurai is the strength scaling was like very weird. Like she took out the 7 best assassins in the land. Some of them that would be jumping her, and she's a Ronin. She taught herself, which is possible. You could teach yourself how to fight. It's easier if you have a teacher, but I'm not going to get into a whole martial arts deep dive. But Blue Eye Samurai, I just didn't like the way she beat like 3 assassins at once, and then would suffer against some old guy who wasn't really that trained. Blue Eye Samurai is the answer. Clearly I'm doing this because I know this is on video, but I gotta respect my audio listeners. I should have read the names from the viewers. This is my boy Quill Will on Instagram. He was my partner on Three Guys with Common Sense podcast. Dope rapper, by the way. We went to Bonnet together for a little bit before I moved. I think he's a grade older than me. All right, my boy Yannick from Instagram. I need your Hip Hop Avengers list. Please and thank you. Okay. Hip Hop Avengers, that's hard. It shouldn't be this hard. I just didn't put any thought into it. So, Hip Hop Avengers, I would say Kendrick Lamar's Black Panther. That's easy because he's the one who did the soundtrack. There's versatility there. I would say Lupe would be Iron Man. No, Lupe's Captain America because his lyricism's pure. He's not the most commercially successful person. Captain America's not the strongest person, but their intentions are very pure. Like Lupe is a traditional. He's great for the traditionalist as far as the essence of hip hop being the voice of the people. That's Lupe. That's Captain America, especially MCU Cap. He's the voice of the people. Black Widow will probably be someone like Rhapsody, maybe? Oh, no, 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 no. She is Lotto. Lotto's a dope lyricist. She's conventionally attractive and she makes great songs. She's the full package for me as a rapper. I want to revisit this question next week. I'm gonna do a TikTok on this probably. Because and there's so many Avengers. So let me pause so I can think of this for a second. Well, let me stop the. Okay, I'm gonna pause and think about. Iron Man is Jay Z. Always a big character in some ways. Not at like obviously Jay Z. I'm not trying to say Jay Z wasn't big, but you can make arguments that there was always someone a little bit bigger in certain years, especially early on, than Jay Z. So Iron Man was that. They're both very into business and branding, both super duper capitalists. Well, then again, Iron Man wants to give free energy to the world, so maybe Jay Z could take that step and do something productive in that way for us. Thor will probably be especially early Thor is probably Kanye West because Thor used to have problems with being cocky. He still kind of does, but he really wants to do well. Kanye West sees himself as a god, wields creative power that's chaotic, inspiring, I guess. I don't really want to talk about Kanye West, but that's what I could think of. Hawkeye's J. Cole. Hawkeye has a really critically acclaimed book by Mac Fraction. J. Cole's work is critically acclaimed. Or J. Cole might be someone like Vision. It's hard. But J. Cole's very accurate with his bars. Who would be Spider Man? Spider Man is someone who's universally loved. You could make the argument that maybe Spider Man will have to be someone like who could be Spider Man? I don't. Who's the biggest rapper? Biggie, Tupac, Jay Z. I see. That's why these things. That's why have so much trouble with these things because it's not always going to be as clean as I want. Because I know so much Marvel. I'm gonna revisit this one next week. I'm gonna have a better list next week. All right, I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share the screen so y'all see the questions. All right, on full screen this joint. It's not listening to me. There we go. All right. Have you ever thought of going to DreamCon? This is from Disagree Man on Instagram. Yes, I'm planning to do every con in every city I like this upcoming year. When I'm done with school, it'll be so much easier. So I'm going to make it easy myself and do one to end this year. I want to go down to Charlotte in October. Maybe Carmen will come. I know my sister-in-law, Carmen's sister is Joy, who should be on the podcast this Monday. She wants to come. Yeah, I think she should. I think it'd be a nice experience for people who've never been to these kind of cons. But I do want to go to DreamCon. If not next year, definitely the year after. I want to like America. Each state's like a country within itself. Like the culture's so different. Every state, the food's different. I want to I want to experience something in these cool states. DreamCon's in Houston, I think, right? Well, let me check that out real quick. I'm typing up DreamCon. Yes, it's in Houston. I never experienced Houston. I never really experienced Texas. So I want to go. So I'm going to DreamCon. If you wanna go with me, bro, please hit me up. Let's do that. It's my boy Duran. Always he's a big supporter of my stuff. What's your first he also asked, what's your first impression of Marvel Token? Fire. Like the thing is, I don't even love fighting games. My imagination makes me overthink fighting games, and admittedly, I'm not that good at them, and I don't want to put the time in it takes to be good at fighting games. So, but this looks like it reminds me of Marvel vs. Capcom. I'm about to look it up to see who the company creating it. It's called Marvel Tokan Fighting Souls. What does the word Tokan mean? That's gonna bother me. All right, can't find that. So the last fighting game Marvel made was Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I don't think people loved that one. I didn't play myself, so I don't know. But as far as Marvel Tokan goes, it's made by Arc System Works, and Sony Interactive is the publisher. I'll tell you in a second why that's a big deal. Arc System Works, they're the one who makes, I think, Guilty Gear. And they also made Dragon Ball Z Fighters. So the art is always lovely. The fighting's fast paced. It's kind of like they're saying, you know what? Oh, they also made Blaze Blue. So like all their games have a look to them that is very pleasing to the eye. It's very fast paced. It's kind of like they want to. It's kind of like they were inspired by Marvel vs. Capcom, but they've been around for a long time. But they also make Guilty Gear. Yeah, I'm in. I'm in. Yeah, I'm like I don't know if I'm gonna buy it first day, but I'm gonna end up getting it at some point, and I'm in. I won't be good at it, but it'd be nice. It'd be a nice thing to stream while talking to y'all about completely nothing. So yeah, I'm in on that. Kurt Padre, my cousin Kurt, on Instagram asked me any Avatar Last Bender new series updates. Unfortunately, got pushed back. Um, I think it's called Legend of Aang. It got pushed back to when? Let me look that up real quick. The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender, got pushed back to October 9th, 2026, which in the grand scheme of things, that's not the worst thing. Like, I could wait a year for a movie. So, yeah, nothing new. They just released the logo. I'm not really one to get hyped about those kinds of things. But, yeah, nothing substantial. Disagreement, that's Duran again. He said, with the way the NFL and NBA are covered, doesn't make you enjoy the sports less. Absolutely. Like, it's nauseating. We just made it I might be the old guy, but it's like they just care about the news part of it. Like LeBron put this kind of dressing on his salad. Is that why he didn't score enough tonight? I don't care. Oh, is Kobe better than Steph Curry? I don't care. Team sports is like this. Unless there's a huge gap between two players, it doesn't matter. Like the average role player is better than the average role player back then. So we got role players who masquerade as stars. They'll sneak into the All Star team once in a while. So I say that to say that the roster construction so much more different now. What these players are asked to do is so much more different. The injuries are higher because the pace and the amount of training they have. There's a lot of science that says there's a lot of science that says because we lock into AAU and their bodies are only built for basketball, they're not building their joints up in other ways. That's why if you notice, someone like Anthony Edwards isn't injured that much. He was a football player first. Train your body in ways that makes it more resilient. We don't do that anymore because of the hyper specialization of athletes' bodies. So now the injuries are higher. I'm over it, bro. Like I say that now, and I might just end up watching again. But this is the first time where I'm like, you know what? I'd be fine if I don't watch it. And I'm starting to feel that way. Like I might lock in for playoffs and listen to the podcast coverage. Because a lot of people, they like the way the podcast break down sports in the way like the NBA is devalued. There's too many games and these games lead to the players getting injured. I'm like, good, bro. Like, so it does make me like it less. And then there's just so much good content. Like it's competing with TikTok, Spotify, like everyone's competing for attention. So yeah, I got choices. I don't really be wanting to watch these games the same way. I am spoiled though because the Eagles had a magnificent season. Like this is the first season where I felt like we could have went undefeated, and they trashed KC, so that made me enjoy the NFL season more. Now the Eagles aren't as good, and I think they're still the best team in the NFL. It's probably them in Baltimore. KC has the best quarterback, so we have a chance. So that'll make I'm not gonna lie, that'll make me more glued in. But overall, it does make me enjoy the sport less. To answer your question, what shows are you looking forward to? So I'll be honest, y'all. So it's no secret that I haven't been doing this podcast as much. I admitted that earlier because of obligations at home and school. And honestly, everyone's going through something. So I'm just going to have to post more. These are old questions, but they're still relevant questions. So at the time when this question was sent, the shows I was looking forward to was The Bear, King of the Hill, Ironheart. I'm always looking forward to a new season of Abbott. So I'm going to pull up a list of always have a list of shows on my phone. But I can't think of anything right now. But it's always Abbott. Oh, the what's the name of that show? White Lotus. I'm looking forward to a new season of that. I'm looking forward to the new Avatar series. It's going to be about the Avatar is going to be Earthbender this time. There's an apocalyptic event that happened. We're going to get more about that. And the Avatar has a twin brother this time, and I think she's high on the representation list because now she has a missing limb, and I like that because one of my little friends at my job, he's physically disabled, but he's so much fun to be around. So I like when people see themselves in fun TV shows because representation just normalizes your existence. And that sounds weird, but hear me out. If you're like, no matter what you are, if you see someone who you identify with in a world where that's not highlighted, that sticks out to you. So it doesn't matter what you are. If you're from Venezuela and you see someone from Venezuela as a superhero, you're like, oh, you know what? That's kind of dope. Do you see them eating the food you eat, speaking the language you speak? You're like, oh, I don't see that. Like, I can't explain that to a lot of my friends. So you feel seen, and feeling seen is a thing everyone wants, no matter if you admit it or not. Everyone wants to be seen. We do things to be seen. Now, if you overdo it, now that's attention seeking, but everyone wants to be seen. So I'm looking forward to that new Avatar show. I should do it justice and find the name of it right now. New Avatar series. Avatar Seven Havens. Yeah, I'm in on that. Oh, I'm also looking forward to a new season of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and X-Men 97 coming up next year. Looking forward to that. They're going to be doing, it looks like the Age of Apocalypse. No, not the Age of Apocalypse. It's going to be a time travel thing. And I don't want to do those spoilers, but I'm looking forward to X-Men 97 season 2. I'm looking forward to The Boys season 2. I'm looking forward to Gen V. Gen V was really dope. Is there any more questions? Where do you rank Goku amongst heroes? Ooh. Icon, anime icons in America. I'm not talking about like the core anime fans, but like to the general public or to just cartoon watchers, millennials, wasn't into any of that Toonami sci-fi stuff. Goku is in the highest tier with Pikachu slash Ash. So it goes, if I was to do a rough pyramid, in the highest tier, it will be Pikachu and Goku. The next tier will be probably like, I don't know, like Naruto. Naruto might be in the highest tier. I didn't put much thought into this, but Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh might be a tier under Naruto. I don't know because just too much time removed from Yu-Gi-Oh, so I might be disrespecting Yugi. But Goku is the highest tier, and I believe tiers should be like pyramids, especially with anime. So the higher you're on the pyramid, the less space there is to be in the highest part. Goku's in the tippy top with Pikachu. And again, I'm being a rookie. That was Showtime Rumble. That was my cousin. The one who asked me about the shows I'm looking forward to, that was my sister Joetta. Rumble, that's my cousin Spence. He asked the Goku question. He also asked, what's your favorite city in America? Dang, I love Philly. I love Philly. I didn't realize how much I love Philly until the food scene in Philly boomed. But so when I go to other cities, I I look for what Philly doesn't have in those cities and what Philly has. So the good food is easy to get around, it's walkable. So Philly is very walkable. Like if I had $1 million, I would get a second house. Now look at me, sound like a capitalist now. I made fun of billionaires earlier, and now I'm talking about hoarding up housing. But I could talk about that on another episode. I would love to live in like South Philly, West Philly, like somewhere where it's like walkable markets. I could record my stuff there. I could have my that's a whole other thing. I'm going on a tangent, but DC, I love DC. I love DC. I love the free museums. Like I'm such a nerd. I loved when I went to the botany museum and it had the different climates. I just love that. Like I could live in DC and like still be able to shoot up the 95 to different places. Like people, if you don't live in the East Coast, you don't realize like we have so much access to different subcultures here because we just shoot to a different city. Like Philly is prime. Like we can go straight up to New York. Like you almost never have to sleep over in New York. Like you just take the bus back home the same day. Like you do whatever you need to do. You can go to North Jersey. You go up to Boston, which is a little bit more of a drive, but it's not terrible. Rhode Island's there. Rhode Island, very underrated city. My cousin Spencer's from Rhode Island. He's from Providence. Very lovely city. It has all the East Coast benefits, but everything is closer together. So if you're from Philly, you would enjoy Providence if you give it a chance. And it has beaches. The frozen lemonade is awesome. Vegas, Vegas, I love Vegas. So three cities I really love. I love Vegas. As a tourist, I love Vegas. But just being among the city, I love DC. Like I love DC. So the answer for now is always it's probably DC. I like Vegas for destination to be like to if me and my friends like if I want to do a group trip, we will have a ball in Vegas. But for like just me and Carmen or me and a smaller group of friends, like just a couple people, it's definitely DC. The food in DC is awesome too. Oh, my man Van Doom. He also asked me on my take on Marvel Souls. I'm just hitting the arrows on my keyboard again, bro. Like I'm excited. I can't wait to have you on so we can talk about it. But I am very excited for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Again, my this is Brand. He's been on this podcast. Fortune over fame on Instagram asked prediction for the Fantastic post credit scene. See, this is why I gotta do content more often because these questions are old now. So I'll talk about my take on the scene. It's kind of what we expected. I think if you know a little bit of Marvel, you know Doctor Doom is mostly tied to the Fantastic Four. He's such a larger than life villain that he's a big threat to the whole Marvel universe. His nemesis is Reed Richards, so I knew he's gonna be there. Yes, Mike Money, my boy. He said, "Will the Switch 2 flop?" No. Will I get it? No, I won't. But it won't flop. People love new hardware. Like they'll justify it, and it's a one-time thing. So, but I won't get it because the console's expensive. The games are too expensive. I don't have enough time to play multiple consoles that much. Like I love Nintendo games. I heard Donkey Kong Bonanza is an awesome game. I won't be participating. At least not for now. I got other things to worry about for now. Is this super? So Big Sat on Instagram says, "Is this Superman movie supposed to reset the DCU?" In some ways, yes. Yeah, actually, this and Peacemaker. Peacemaker addresses the DCU thing. So yeah, not in a dramatic way like we thought the Flash movie was with the whole Flashpoint thing, but yeah, it does. North or Nothing 215 says, starting a podcast 101, what do I need to start? At least record myself properly. Use what you have first. Because you're going to spend money on things and it might be harder than you think. Use what you have first and upgrade as you go. Like, I just started with my phone and a cheap mic. And I plugged in the mic. The mic I'm using now, I plugged into my iPhone, started from there. But at first, I was just recording with the back camera and on a tripod. So do whatever works within your space. And people care about what you have to say more than how it looks. How it looks helps, but since COVID, we just realized we care about the content more, especially with the rise of podcasts. Like, just I think the sound matters more than the look. So get one of those TikTok mics and use your phone to start. Use the free software to like there's free software online that cleans up your audio. Do that and you're good. All right, well that's it. I actually enjoy doing that. I'm gonna do that way more often. And I did it in under 90 minutes. So yeah, I'm gonna do that more often. So again, I'm either gonna do one of these solo episodes or a guest episode that'll take up the same slot in the week. So I'm gonna shoot for Wednesdays from now on. The Monday episodes will be the Marvel movie. I said Marvel movies. It'll be the movie Monday thing. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to do that once every week. At the worst case scenario, it'll be twice a month. It should be once a week though, but worst case scenario, it'll be once a month. So that's a wrap for the Avatar Slang show today. Shout out to myself for being my own guest today. All your listeners, hit follow, leave a review, and share the podcast. It's the best way to support and helps more people discover the show. YouTube viewers, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. More listeners mean more episodes, so spread the word. If you want to go further, support the podcast at buymeacoffee.com/avatarslang. Every contribution helps bring you more great content. Links are in the YouTube description, podcast description, and my Instagram bio. And like I said, I'm going to do way more short stuff on Instagram, TikTok at Avatar Slang. So it's avatar.slang. It should pop up no matter what you type. Like you type in Avatar Slang, it should pop up. But yeah, share your thoughts on today's topics, and thank you for being part of the Slang Gang. And I want to throw in shout out to my boy Oscar, Soul Slinger on TikTok. He became my first contributor, and that was so humbling to see that someone cared enough to give their money to this, because I only did it because it was suggested that I do this buy me a coffee thing. But it's so humbling that someone believes in my vision and my content enough to contribute any money they earn, because we're all middle class here. Is very money can be hard for people, and so to decide to give it to someone else just for talking on a mic in front of a camera, that's a big deal to me. So thank you for anyone who's ever given me their time, money. Shout out to Oscar. I really appreciate that. Thank you for being part of the Slang Gang.